Hi, my name is Damian, and I am an alcoholic. Want to welcome you all to I Heard It in a Meeting, and hopefully we'll hear your stories as well. So right below this video or audio, you can click on a link and submit your story, and we'll put it up on the I Heard It in a Meeting YouTube channel. So, anyways. I came from a good family. I came from a middle-class, hard-working family. Both of my parents were, I wouldn't say they were non-drinkers, but they drank on special occasions only, pretty much. My mom definitely, my dad would have a cocktail every once in a while. He was a police officer, and my mom worked hard. She sold real estate. And we're highly involved in sports. Typical four-child, middle-class family. House, dog, the whole bit. And, there was always drinking on the holiday occasions. In fact, back then, it really wasn't frowned upon for kids to take sips off their parents' drinks. So I learned early that I really like Manhattans. I have no idea why, but I probably should have known then that I had a problem with alcohol. And didn't realize that at all. Went on to go through grammar school and do quite well. Was a good student. Was a good athlete. Had athlete friends, so none of us really partied or did anything crazy. Certainly we like to sneak in and take a little drink on our sleepovers every once in a while. But for the most part, we were pretty much into our athletics and not doing drugs and drinking, certainly. As we got into high school, I think graduation day of my 8th grade was the first time I tried marijuana, and that set it off. My high school career became sort of a blur of drinking and drugging. But if there is such a thing, I was considered what's called a functional alcoholic. I would get through all my schooling quite well. I think I finished with like a 3.2, which is not bad, a little above the B average in high school. Athletics started to drop off. I began to have an attitude. I actually ended up quitting my senior year in high school on the basketball team, which was a state championship basketball team. Most of my friends went on to have pretty prominent careers in the basketball industry in college athletics. Anyways, from there, my drinking went crazy. I got accepted to San Diego State, and that's where the party was on. I was now away from home. I was able to party, do whatever I want to do, and my schooling just went to hell. I was on academic probation every semester. The first year, I barely made it through. I got a girlfriend second semester of my first year, and she got pregnant that summer. So I was 18 years old, just turned 19, and my son was born in December of my 19th year of my life. I ended up not going back to San Diego State and ended up working in the family business, which was bail bonds business, ironically. And then my alcoholic career pursued vigorously. From then on, I just thought I partied. I just thought I drank a lot. I was a partier. I could hold my liquor. I could function. But I could see on the inside and on the outside that things were just falling apart. I just had no clue that it was alcoholism. My relationship with my son's mother fell apart. And I moved on to all kinds of different activities while running the bail bonds business, including women, drinking, drugs, you name it. No real pursuits there. Everything that I was taught or had been inspired to do by my folks or friends when I was young were just out the window. It was about making money, sure, and providing for yourself, but it was also about drinking and partying. And a big part of that was I was just afraid of life. I was afraid that I'd never make it, even though I was making all kinds of money. I was always afraid. So I met my first wife of 3, and she got to know me for about 2 months and then threw me into rehab. She pretty much called it out right away. We had a daughter who's now 29 and the light of my life. And basically, She was the first one to see that, I really had a drinking problem. I don't think anyone in my family really noticed it other than her. So we did an intervention. They did an intervention. I went to rehab, and the first night I went to rehab, I went to my first AA meeting. And for me, it was like opening up the light bulb, opening up the light, turning on the light to what I had no clue I was. I didn't know what an alcoholic was. I thought I just partied hard. I did think it was weird that I would take drinks in the car. I would do stuff that normal people don't do. But I just thought, yeah, I'm the man. I'm a partier. And when I found out that night what alcoholism was, or at least exposed to it, I was relieved. I figured that, okay, I'm not some kind of crazy person. I'm not insane. I'm just an alcoholic. And I was relieved. I wish I could say from that day on, I went on to stay sober. I was 24 years old. This was, I guess, 30 years ago. And I did stay sober for a good long time, I think about 3.5 years. And then ensued on my relapse career. Went on to have many, many relapses. I would always go out, and I'd be out for a long period of time, hence the 3 wives. My life was just filled with drinking and trying to get sober again, and then trying to figure out how I could, get back to drinking. And my life was a pursuit of trying to figure out how I could drink as an alcoholic. As time went on, over the 29 years, I've had 7 years of sobriety, 7 one-year chips I've gotten 2.5 years ones, I've gotten 3.5 years, multiple 30 days, 6 months, a couple of 9 months. And so over 30 years, I've probably got about 12 to 15 years of sobriety, not consecutive. My sobriety date now is Christmas Day, 2016, so I'm close to 18 months when I'm recording this, and life is good for me. I've gotten past all the wives, I've gotten past all the jobs, I've had some very successful careers, and I've had some debilitating times in life. I'm not one of those persons that ever contemplated suicide, and I think a lot of that has to do with my upbringing, the positive books that I read, and then most of all, being involved with Alcoholics Anonymous. There, to me, is nothing as life-changing as the meetings, the fellowship, and the concept of Alcoholics Anonymous. What more could you want than, clean house, trust God, and help others? What more is there to life, really? We're here to serve, as far as I'm concerned, and I don't do it very well. I do what I can. I am not a big book thumper. I am not a huge participant in terms of commitments. I do have commitments. I do love going to meetings. But I realize that Alcoholics Anonymous has a concept for living that could change anybody's life, whether you're an alcoholic or not. And that's why I love it so much. And that's why I'll always be involved with it. And that's why I want to hear everybody's story. And that's why I tell my story. So, today I go to meetings. I have a sponsor. I've worked the steps. My sponsor now and I are going through the steps as if I was going to sponsor someone else. I've had a sponsor once before in my life, but that didn't pan out. I think he went out before I went out, but nonetheless, we both went out. And so now I'm really pursuing a life of normal pursuits. Of course, I still have my ambitions and my goals, but really my true ambition is to be in the fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous and help other alcoholics as well as help other people. I love the concept of AA, and will always, on a day-to-day basis, be a part of that, whether I'm drinking or not, and hopefully I'm not. Today I don't feel the desire to drink. Today I will not drink, and today I pursue things that will not ensure, but will support my sobriety. I stay in the middle of the road, and that's what it's all about, and I will continue to do so. So I hope you join us and give us your story, and that's mine. Like I always say, this is my church, and you guys are my people. I'm Damian. I'm an alcoholic.